What's up? I just finished my workout. Just did some stretches, ran a couple miles, and I'm gassed. So I'm gonna head home. Luckily, my lovely girlfriend is picking up Chipotle, so I'll have that when I get home. But I wanted to record this video on the way home, and as the title suggests, I wanted to talk about how your 20s are the best time to take on risk, in my opinion. Why you should be taking on risk in your 20s. So, without further ado, let's get to it. Thanks for watching. If you haven't already, hit the sub button, join the fam. I appreciate you for watching. Let's get to it. Sweating up the place. I should have brought a towel, but it's all good. Alright, like I was saying, I think your 20s are your best years to take on risk. I'm not telling you to like go buy a car that you can't afford, or like, I don't know, take on stupid risks, you know? But if you're not going to take on risk in your 20s, you know, when will you take on risk? That's the question I think you got to ask yourself. You know, your 20s, I mean, even before then, but to be real, like, we're in high school till 18, so you can't really do much as a minor, although you can. It's not impossible, but let's just say your 20s, in my opinion, are your launch pad years. That's when you can really, you know, you have the most time on your side. You have so much time to recover if things go wrong. You have so many different opportunities, so much time to try new things. I just think, like, you know, if you're in your 20s right now and you're listening to this, there's a lot of opportunity out there. And again, I'm not telling you to like go buy a car you can't afford. But you know, look at some of your, you know, your friends or your family friends, you know, that are most successful. What do they all have in common? I think the one thing that they all have in common is that they took risks early on in life. So if you take risk early, it can pay off early. If it doesn't pay off, you got time to rebound and recover. You know, you wait until your 30s, it's just gonna be that much harder. Not only is it harder, but like mentally, I think, you know, we're not as comfortable taking on risk the later we get. I know for me, like in my field of work with retirement, like if I'm saving for retirement, you know, I can take on risk more comfortably when I'm younger, personally speaking. But every year that goes by, I'm 1 year closer towards reaching that end goal. I'm trying to retire by the time I'm like 60, hopefully sooner the better. But you know, each year as I get closer, I'm like, you kind of gotta, I feel like I maybe have to dial back the risk a little bit. And that's the same thing with everything in life. So if you're in your 20s right now, man, or if you're even, you know, younger than 20, don't be scared. Don't be scared to take on risk. You got a long ways ahead of you, and best case scenario is it pays off early. Worst case scenario is you waste a few years of your life and you're really right where the average person is after you recover. It's just that window for opportunity is so huge when you're in your 20s, and it starts to shrink as you get older. Just be mindful of that, you know? Be mindful of that. I'm trying to take one calculated risk per year, and I think you should do that too. I think whatever it is, I'm not obviously advising you, giving you, you know, any sort of like financial advice or anything like that, but try to take one calculated risk each year. Try to get out of your comfort zone. See what comes from it. For me, it was a pretty big risk taking this car on. I will say that. Financially, very risky. I could lose my job and I could not afford the car payment. It's quite that simple. But what this car has given me in return is this platform, most importantly, I think, but also just the excitement, the pure joy, the love of owning my dream car in my 20s. And you just gotta take that leap of faith, you know? But anyways, I wish you well. I appreciate you for tuning in to another video. There's lots more to come. I've been enjoying reading your comments and going back and forth with you, so let me know what your thoughts are on that, what risks you're planning on taking to wrap up this year and ultimately head into 2026 sooner rather than later. But anyways, again, I appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video. Drive safe. Peace.